Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with part 2 of our wraparound tags, mixed media style. And in the first video we made these mixed media papers, and now we're going to go ahead and turn them into a wraparound tag. So this is the one, we did this background in the first video, and so what we did is we laid down some color, laid down some texture paste or modeling paste with a stencil and that kind of thing. And then I wanted to have one to bring to you before we start this video, so I went ahead and finished this one up. So I used this is a 3D embossing folder from Tim Holtz, and so I made that on the front and the back with different images. I will link where I got these images because I have so many. I'll have to kind of hunt and see where I got these, and then as well as the quotes here, these little French quotes. So we're going to go ahead and get going. I did stuff this one with some, I took some of my coffee dyed paper that is printed on 65-pound paper, and I used another 3D embossing folder to emboss this, and then I just came over it with vintage photo archival ink, and so we've got this beautiful tag. I'm not putting anything on it. I think it's beautiful just as it is. So and then I just stitched around that, and I put some paper on the back, and so that's that one. And then this is another image which I will again be sure to link for you in case you want to check it out. And then this one I just made a journaling card, and using a different embossing folder. This one is roses. Sorry, I keep going off camera. I have to get used to it being on that side. So bear with me. I hope you'll bear with me. So that is what we did. I added a little, I used a special punch that I have to make these little shapes, and then cut a circle out of just some of the kit paper, and then put another bit of French words. So I'll probably need to put a French word on this side as well. But I just wanted to have something in the thumbnail to show you what we were going to do in today's video. So I did use also some coffee dyed cheesecloth, and I need to fix my camera because it's like off, and it looks like it feels like it's slanted to me. So I'm trying to figure this out, guys. There we go. Maybe that's better. Okay, let's get going. So these are all the bits. So these go to one of the ones that we're doing. I'm going to follow in similar fashion using that medallion, or not medallion, that frame 3D embossing folder. And then we've got some material to make some tags and journal cards out of. I ran this through my embossing machine too with using a script embossing folder, and then this one I used another, I think this was a 3D embossing folder. So we will be working our way through that as we go along. This is some, I took some of my coffee dyed paper and I cut them down a little bit so I could run it through the die cut machine, and did the same thing, emboss these. That's the back, which is kind of pretty too. And so we're going to make some pockets out of those. I didn't cut them down yet because I wanted you guys to see everything that I'm doing, as that is sometimes important to folks. This is one of the papers that we made. Now I think this is one that I made off camera. I had mentioned that I had chosen 3 pieces of paper to use, and we only ended up using 2 of them on camera, and I told you I would do another one off camera. So this one is thicker than the other one, and I'm not sure why that is, other than I did back it with a piece of 20-pound coffee dyed paper, but it's definitely thicker. But I love the tones in it a lot more. So we've got this green, which is that pistachio. This is, I think the blue is coming from the vintage photo. I think it leaves that kind of vibe. And then I did some stenciling with the crackle paint, which I haven't done before. I actually used the crackle paint right through the stencil, and I love how that turned out. This is one of Sean Petit's stencils. So that is that paper. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to try to keep all these bits together. I like to prepare everything first so that I don't keep you doing, on camera doing unnecessary, I do unnecessary things. And these are, again, the bits. I'm not going to go through them. We'll go through them as I create. So I thought we would start with this one. And I did also select some, I printed a bunch of coffee dyed paper on 20-pound paper, so I have something to back all of this with. And then this is another one that we made on camera. This I think is my favorite. I love how we got this pistachio. I feel like I want a little bit more pistachio, but I'm debating. I don't want it to be super bold. Off camera, I did do the backs as well. I didn't add texture or anything. I just used the Distress Oxide sprays to do that. And so this is the one we're going to start with. So the journal that I'm making, oh, what did I do with the sticky note? The Paris Rose journal is a finished size of the pages is 5 by 7, and so I have to make any of my ephemera to fit that. So they can't be any more than, I believe it's just under 7 inches high, and the full width can be no bigger than 4 3/4. So I'm going to grab my ruler. Let me grab my special ruler for special people, as I say often. I say that because it has every incremental marking, which really helps me because I struggle with reading. I mean, I know the basic ones like 1/4 and 1/2 and 3/4 and whatever, but all those in between ones I struggle with. So there is my ruler. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this. Actually, if I'm going to have to cut this down, I want to lose less of it rather than folding this and then cutting the ends off. I'm going to measure first and decide where I want my fold to be. So I think I'll make this one 4 1/2. I'm just going to grab my pencil and mark that, just so I know where that fold is going to be. So I'm just using my pencil and marking that. Oh, that made quite a dark mark. So now I'm going to just fold this in half until I get to that mark, and it doesn't have to be super precise, but that looks to be pretty good. And I'm just going to scrunch that down. I did get some cracking here on the edge, and the reason for that is because we have a lot of texture. We've got modeling paste and such, but I think it actually adds to the effect. So that is what I'm getting there, which is not a big deal. So now I can cut this off and waste less, or at least that was my theory. I don't know if that's really true, but I'm just going to grab my scissors and just cut that by hand. So that's a little bit of a bigger scrap. And oh, I know what I wanted to do that I just forgot, guys. I'm just looking at this bottle in front of me. So on the first one, I don't care for that really chalky look. That's why I have not used my Distress Oxides as much as I would like to, because I don't like the completely chalky finish. So I have the Distress Micro Glaze, and this helps to seal these layers, but it also adds a little bit of a shine. So I'm going to do that really quick, which means I apologize. I'm going to have to probably switch over to the other one because I already did this one off camera. I don't know if you can tell by looking at these how different they look in terms of brightness. So this one is brighter, and that's because of the Micro Glaze, and that is a Distress product. So I'm going to go ahead, we'll switch to that one here in a moment. So I'm going to show you how this works. I'll speed this part up, but again, it's just Micro Glaze. I put a inker on, a dauber on the end, and then I just rub it in, just twist it in there, and then just go to town on covering this. So hopefully you guys will be able to see the difference like I did. I already can see the difference. For some reason, this chews up these sponges. I'm not sure why. I went through 3 of these just to get, look at that. Isn't that interesting? So we'll probably have to get another one to finish this page. And then I do want to set this aside so it can have a chance to dry a little bit, but we will get to that momentarily. Okay, that was just eating up my sponge, and I can't even get that off right now. So I went ahead and went in with my finger. I don't normally like to do that just because I get it under my nails. So here we go. So then you're just gonna rub the excess off, and I'll show you that it's not really bringing up much of the color, which I was really surprised by. But you just want to take off that excess. There we go. So let me show you this up close again. So that's it. That's all it's taking off. So that's pretty epic. So there, I think it looks better. I think it looks brighter, but you know, you can decide for yourself if you think so. I'm gonna grab a wipe and wipe off my desk here. Okay, so we'll just switch gears and go to the other one here. So I think we'll do this one a little bit different. So, oh, I want to make sure it's not upside down because there is script. I did some stamping with some black ink. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this out as well. I think I'm going to go, let's just go 3 3/4 on this one, just to be different. And so I'm going to again fold just like we did before on that pencil line. And I'm going to cut my tag shapes and ink this up. I did decide that I am going to go ahead and sew on this because I liked the look of that on my last one. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quickly off camera because I mean, you don't need to see me sew, I don't think, and it's not on my table, so I don't have the ability to actually film that. Okay, I just love sewing on paper. I don't know about you. But this paper is really kind of soft, which has a really, it has a really lovely feel to it. So there is our stitching. Beautiful. I wasn't too concerned about the seam there. I know I crossed over because it was kind of hard to see, but it's imperfect, which makes it very, very vintagey and gorgeous. So next step is to go ahead and I need to take my jacket off here. It's a little bit warm. We got snow here last night, so we got a surprise snow day, which was much needed for me. I've had a hard couple of weeks just with a lot of busyness and not really having a lot of time to do the things that I really need to do or want to do. So there we go. I'm just going to cap up this glaze, and I'm going to move you in a little bit closer. There we go. So these are the bits for this one. So yes, these are the bits for this one. So I did the same thing with the frames and the little the beautiful little vintage people. And then I've got some words, some little cards of more children to put in the pockets. But these are going to be our pockets, and these will be our ephemera. So we're going to start by going ahead and inking these, and I'm going to use my Vintage Photo Archival ink. I just need to reach for my bigger sponge. I've been in here making a mess, but then before I start to film and do the project, carry on with the project, I have to clean up. Otherwise I get really overwhelmed. So let's go ahead and just ink this up. And I just use the makeup brush, and still am completely off here. Let me move my glass mat. That might help me to stay a little bit more in frame. There we go. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, so you just go gently over all that texture, and I'll hold this up so you can see what it actually looks like when it's done. But oh, I love embossing paper. Just love the effect. Okay, last piece. I think I actually did do this one. I'm going to get a little bit more on here, and I'll show you the close-ups of this. I may come in with some of the worn lipstick on some of these just to kind of bring out, these are both roses. This one I think I did the embossing upside down, but I'm not sure. I think I did, but it will still work. So we just get a little bit of a different look here. And then this one is just lovely. Isn't that beautiful? And then these ones, so this is the one that I had the script, which is this way. And again, this is my own copy. Well, it's not even a copy, it's the original of some coffee dyed paper on 65-pound paper, and then I showed you this one already. So now I'm going to reach for that pink sponge. Wasn't planning on doing the pink, but let's do it. Sorry for if you got my body in the shot here. There we go. So we've got the worn lipstick. Let's find that baby. Worn lipstick. Hopefully this is not too off of a color. Let me get a paper towel and make sure I can get color off of this that I don't want. It's too bright. That should be okay. So I don't want to do it on that one, but I do want to do it on these roses. So you just go in again with just a little bit of that rose color. This is different though because it's a Distress Oxide, which again, as I mentioned, is chalky, but I think it's going to be okay. So it kind of looks a little bit grungy, but that pink is really, it makes it really beautiful, I think. So we're going to do the same with this one. These are our pockets, and that's why they're the same embossing, because they're going to be cut into 2 pieces. We're just getting a movement of that brown. I think that's what's happening here. I'm not used to using Distress Oxides that move and, you know, that are not permanent upon application. So that's why that's not looking fantastic. So I'm going to go in with some Vintage Photo here and just try to sharpen that back up again, and it will still leave some of that pink. Hope that's making sense. There we go. That's much better. So you can still see, let me get a little bit more on there. You can still see the pink, the hint of that pink, but we've got that permanent archival ink. This is Vintage Photo archival ink. And yeah, so works really great. So now let's work on our pockets. Let me stop my yammering here. So we just need to kind of measure what size we want these pockets to be. We may actually be able to use just one of these, and I think I prefer this one, so let's do that. So I'm just going to cut it down. I don't want it to be, I'm going to actually cut off this edge so that doesn't look irregular to the other side. Going to bring over my cutter. I always make those marks and then I can't find them. There we go. There they are. Awesome. That'll be a great scrap. So now we can just cut this in half. Let's see how tall it is, because we can use it for both pockets. It's 4.5-ish. So actually let's I'm just going to cut one, and then I'll line the other one up and cut it with it. So I know that this part is smaller, and then I can just use my scissors and do the rest of this. So just trying to get some of that those beautiful roses in here. Okay, love it, love it. Get my circle punch. Oops, which way? I'm going to go this way. Whoops, bad cut. I'm going to put this one in here so I can get it kind of at the same spot. So I should have just done them together. That would have worked just fine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and ink these up as well. We've got a little bit of a tear here, but that's all right. It's going to be glued down. It's not going to be a problem. These are turning out a lot more vintagey than I had really planned, but I am loving it. I think I want to come up on this one so I can see that bottom stitching here. So I didn't get my white glue out. Let me get my hopefully this, you know what, I think I tried that and I needed to use the Fabri-Tac because of the porous paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to glue both of these on. Okay, the pockets are on. Isn't that just beautiful? Beautiful, beautiful. I feel like that one's a little crooked, but I think we're stuck with it. So let's work on the tag for this. Isn't this gorgeous? Oh my gosh, this is so pretty. I'm trying to get my script going the right way. So what I did is I wanted to make sure that my tag was not any higher than here, because I don't want it hanging over. It looked funny when I tried it, and I decided I did not want to try that again. I think the script, I can't really tell which way the script is supposed to go. Bizarro. Well, if I can't tell, I guess nobody else will be able to either. So I'm going to go ahead and just get this to my height that I want. So I'm going to go ahead, I can go up a little bit here, and then just go ahead and cut this about here, because we have to account for that pocket. Just going to go ahead and use my trimmer. This is not my preferred trimmer because it doesn't really cut very accurately, but it works for being on camera. So we have that. So now we're going to go ahead and cut the width as well. So again, I want to allow for that glue. And so I'm going to come way over here with the cut on the side, and again, just trim that. Perfect. So we will need to also back this. This is okay and pretty and could be written on, but it's very fragile, and I don't want to cause a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my corners. Actually, yeah, I'm going to cut my corners, and then we'll finish this tag. I'm not going to decorate it, just as I did not the other one. When I put it in the journal, I might embellish it a little bit further. We will see how I feel. Oops, make sure that's going the right way. I think that was wrong. There we go. There we go. And I'm off camera, guys. Let me move this closer. Goodness gracious. New camera position here. So gonna get used to it. There we go. So that is our tag. So I'm just going to set this aside for now, and we'll glue it on the same piece of paper. We'll need to back both of these, so we'll do that at the same time. I love this one. I want to capture the gold in that, so I'm going to just cut this down a little bit. Although, how come we didn't really capture that, the texture at the top? Let's fix that. Let's remedy that. Yeah, I just didn't go up high enough. There we go. Much better. Okay. So again, this, I don't want it to go above this point, so I'm going to go ahead and just kind of I spy that, and then I think I'm going to cut a little bit off the top. And I will use all those scraps, so don't you worry about that. It's going to be epic. So we're going to go ahead and mark this as well. Again, accounting for the glue line. The landscape that the glue is taking up inside that little pocket. There we go. So that is our tag. We're going to we'll round the corners after we back them. So let me grab a piece of my paper here. I think I want to use this one that's got a little bit of gold in it. love the subtleness of this tea-dyed paper. When I am wanting to back my papers, her kit is the #1 one that I go to. So I will, I'll make a note to link that. Hang on. If I don't write it down, I won't remember. So link tea-dyed paper. It's called tea-dyed. I believe it's Liana Scraps, but I will link it. So we might put a little bit of lace on these. We'll see how time goes, kind of as a topper. But if not, I will do it off camera and you guys can see in the photos at the end. I am making sure that I can see that gold. I love that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we're too wide. Hold the fort. How did that happen? I maybe didn't even measure it. I don't even know. So on a personal note, for those of you kind of following my health stuff, I now am doing the health, not the health monitoring, the heart monitoring right now. So I'm wearing a heart monitor for 72 hours so that they can track what's going on with my heart, which is really abnormal. So it's really uncomfortable because it itches. So there we go. And enough of that. So we have that. So now I cut out these digitals, and again I will link them, but aren't these just adorable images? It looks like they might be too big by a little bit, so I'm gonna trim them down. Okay, so we're inked up. I think that's plenty of ephemera in these little pockets. So, oh, I don't think I picked anything for the pockets. So I do want to make sure that we get something on here. So I probably will do that off camera because I'll probably do something similar to what I did here. Just to kind of go with that theme. So I'll do that off camera. Let's focus on the front of the tags. So all I'm going to do is, oh, gold. I wanted to put some gold on. We'll do that very last. So this one, I used my golden fluid acrylic in iridescent gold fine, and it's my favorite thing to use for edging. So that's what you see here. All that is gold paint. So we'll do that, but we'll save that for a last step. So I'm gonna let me just open that up. Oh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful. So which one do we want on the front? Well, they're both going to be visible in the same fashion, but this one's going to go in this little frame. Isn't that so pretty? So let me ink both of these up, and I'll be back with you just in a moment. Oh, this one's already inked. Goodness gracious. You should have seen my desk earlier. I was trying to plan this project because it's a lot different than what I normally do, so I struggled to pull everything together because, you know, I've got my embossing machine out and I'm trying to decide on embossing folders and all that. So it took me quite a while this morning. So another reason why I was grateful for a snow day today. I'm sure everything will be back to normal tomorrow. But I picked this paper because I liked how it would bring out the pink in the up in here and down in here. So that's why I chose that. So I'm going to go ahead and first put glue on the frame. I did find that I had to use the Fabri-Tac because there's porous. It's porous on the back of the frame because it's a 3D embossing folder, and then there's also a lot of texture to the base that we're going to be gluing it on. So I'm just going to go around there and hope that that's enough to hold our girl in place. So I'm going to go ahead and just hold this like this and just get her in position. Perfect. And I'm just going to use my paper towel so I don't get all sticky here. Oh, that was silly. So now I've got to reapply the glue. Goodness. But I still want to make sure that that image got pressed in there, so we can just go ahead and go in with some more glue. We would have to do that anyway, wouldn't we? Because we can put it all on this back. she's so pretty. I love this. I love this image. I will link this one. It's a different maker than the one I showed you earlier. So I'm just going to put this about right there. And again, off camera, often I will like look at these and go, oh, I need something else. I need a little bit of something, something. Like something to decorate the tops, maybe a pull or an eyelet or something that I can feed some sari silk through or something. So, or seam binding rather. So there we go. So let's go ahead and do the other one. I'm going to go ahead and speed through this one. And just as an added note, let me show you the embossing folder I use. Let me just press this down and then I will show you that, because I want to show you how I could figure out like how to trim around these images. So this is the where is it? This is the 3D embossing folder from Sizzix, and so it cuts out this part, so I just use that kind of as a template for how big my image needed to be hidden behind there. So that was a nifty little trick. I'm just going to go over this a little more, some more vintage photo as it's moving. Oh, they're so gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, I love it. So we've got some words here as well. So let's see. I don't know what these mean. I might look them up. I love the French language. It's very appealing to me, and I have a heart for it. So yeah, so we're just going to use it. Maybe you guys know what it says. And I want to put a little bit of that gauze or whatever it was. I don't know what you guys call it. Sometimes it's called gauze, sometimes it's called cheesecloth, but this is my coffee dyed batch. So it's all grungy, which fits this really well. So I'm just going to cut a bit of that out, and then we'll use that to put under our word here. Then we will move on to the other one, and I will probably speed through more of that and slow it down when we get to some more important parts. But that is that, and again, I will probably further embellish the tops of some of these, put some little bits of lace or something to make that look a little bit more interesting. So that is the first one. So gorgeous. So let's get the other one over here. Let's see what we've got here. It's still kind of sticky, which is not a problem. I'm just going to rub it a little more. I love this one. This is my favorite. Okay, so this one, I think we can go, we're going to go just under 7 inches tall. And I want to capture this pink, so I'd rather cut off the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that out. I'll make a nice little something. And then let's see how wide we need it to be. A little shorter and squattier. That's 4.5. I think. Oh, we had already cut this down, hadn't we? Yes, we had. So let's just let this be short and squatty. I'm going to pull over a signature just to make triple sure that I'm not doing this wrong. So yeah, that should be, I'm going to cut a little bit off, maybe make it like 3 1/4 or something. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the corners again really quick. We are going to decorate this one slightly different, so I hope that you guys will stick around. And I love the inside of this one. So pretty, so pretty. So I'm going to pause right now and go ahead and sew this really quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, we are done. So while I was off doing that, I did go ahead and sew around these little cards as well. So just trim this up here a little bit. Then we will move on. So pretty, so pretty. Goodness gracious. There we go. Get them all. It's imperfect, but I do not strive for perfection in my art or in my studio. So that is gorgeous. So let's go ahead and work on, let's go ahead and cut some pockets really fast. It's not going to be too bad. I didn't want to leave any of these steps out in case you guys want to know how we get to some results. You know, if I skip through some things, then you can miss out on something important. So hope you guys don't mind. And again, if the video gets too long, please feel free to speed me up to 1.5 times the normal speed, and you might even come back and see me again. So that's that. I think we're going to be okay. This does not look straight on that edge. Oh my goodness. You must at least have things somewhat straight, in my opinion. Let's see if that's better. This is kind of sticky. I'm going to go ahead and use my wipe or my paper towel and just get off that excess. The sun is shining in my window, so that's why we're getting this glare. I might take a moment and just shut the shade here really quick. So pretty and white out there though. It's hard to shut it out. So there we go. So let's get this back over here and get our pockets on after we ink this. Did not ink it. Okay, now we can move on. I was ill prepared there. Okay, let's get these on. They are a little bit sticky, but that's all right. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac again. We will come to the gold paint here momentarily. So what do we have here for this? We've got this to decorate the front, so I picked some ladies, and we've got some cards for the middle again. So let's go ahead and just ink this stuff up and just be done with it. So let's go ahead and decorate the front. I might go ahead and make these off camera since you just saw me do it. Actually, I think these were supposed to be the pockets. I think some of these were supposed to be pockets. Oopsie daisy. All right, that's okay. That's okay, but I will, we'll decorate the front and the back, and then I'll let you go. And because it's, again, very similar to what we've already done. So let's go ahead and get this lady on here. I'm just going to cut off that darker border. I don't care for that. Okay, I thought we could just kind of put them in the middle here and use this. This is the cutout piece for that frame. I thought it would be, it kind of looks like a palette a little bit, so I thought that would be kind of pretty here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get some of that gauze, or whatever you call it. Just going to put that down here on the bottom. We are covering up some of our beautiful texture, but that is the nature of any mixed media technique that you do. You do end up sometimes losing things that you had put in place, but it's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I'll stick that other piece in while this is still movable or liftable. About right there. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put it on the other side. Oh. I want to see that really brownish tone of that gauze or cheesecloth. We're just going to put this on the other side. It's okay. I'm actually going to lift the gauze up too here. See if I can slide it under both for a little bit of extra interest. It's a great way to use those extra pieces too, otherwise they just go in the trash, right? And we're going to put a word on here. So I've got this, again, don't know what it means, but I will probably look it up. There we go, let's get this on. So again, guys, you guys can see anything that I added to this will be visible in the photos at the end of the video. I always make sure I add a lot of that kind of stuff. So that is our one side, and then let's do the other side and then I'll let you go. Just finishing up here. I want to thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out with me for a little bit. Hopefully you are inspired. That is my main goal. I don't call these tutorials unless I'm actually teaching you something that you don't already know potentially. So this is just crafting with me. And if it suits you, then I'm happy. And if it doesn't, then I know that you can probably find content that is more in line with what you're looking for, but it's always good to have people here and give me feedback about what you think or what you'd like to see or what you'd like not to see. So it's, as a creator, it's really hard to balance out what all of your subscribers want. You know, some people want long videos, some people want short, some people don't like a voiceover, some people want the voiceover. They appreciate that. So it's just, it's really tricky for creators to figure all that stuff out. So I try to go back to my home base of, I do art that brings me joy, and if it starts stealing my joy, I need to start looking at what's causing that. So again, we will I'll make some stuff for inside of the pockets with these bits, the most beautiful bits that I have, and I will show those in the photos at the end. Thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye bye.